Okay, so the SIRS recently had its Abu Dhabi. The open doubles run is over, and what do you know? I'm not even upset about it. Let me explain what transpired between Janice Tjen and Eala in the semifinals. This is the offer. At the Mubadala Abu Dhabi Open, Janice Tjen of Indonesia and Eala of the Philippines just fell in the double semifinals. The fourth seeded defeated them 6-4, 6-2. Olivia Nichols of Great Britain and Teresa Mihalkova of Slovakia. The game lasted around 1 hour and 16 minutes. And pay attention, it was far closer than that scoreline suggests. What's strange, however, is that most people aren't discussing this. Less than 24 hours had passed since these two young guns completely destroyed the second seeds when they played this match. I'm referring to Christina Ba and Zhang Guai, a duo that have won 23 doubles championships together. Jung is a champion in Grand Slam doubles. BSA took home many WTA doubles championships. Tjen and Eala just ripped through them. It seems simple with 63-63. Therefore, you have to realize that they were essentially operating on empty when you look at their semifinals defeat. Their third game in 48 hours was this one. 48 hours. And that doesn't include the one quarterfinal matchup she had with Alexandrova, in which she faced up against a player ranked in the top 15 who smashes incredible bombs from the baseline. This girl hasn't stopped practicing tennis. All right, let's dissect the match. They're holding on in the first set, right? Everyone benefits by trading games, holding serve when necessary, maintaining competition, and boom. Okay? These kids have a real shot here, you think as you watch this. They are managing the strain, matching the intensity, and matching the experience. However, Mihalkova and Nichols simply flicked a switch. Back-to-back matches. This is when the experience became evident. They began picking on Tjen's second serve, pressuring Eala at the net and making mistakes. Veterans do just that. They identify the weak point and attack it. Take the set 6-4, hold the serve, and break the serve. The change in momentum was immediately apparent. Brutal second set. The veterans took a 3-0 lead right away and didn't turn around. They were keeping the ball deep, returning everything, and preventing Eala and Tjen from getting any rhythm at the net. Tjen and Eala attempted to retaliate. They joined the board and shown some genuine heart via a few lovely online discussions. But Nichols and Mihalkova wouldn't have it. 6-2. You see, Nichols and Mihalkova are 31 and 27 years old, respectively. Between them, they have won 8 WTA doubles championships. In doubles, they are rated 28th and 26th, respectively. It's legitimate top 30 territory. These aren't just arbitrary gamers. They are genuine double specialists who often play together, are well familiar with one another's positions, and know just how to end games when it counts. In the meanwhile, Tjen is rated number 67, Eala is ranked number 136 in doubles, and Tjen is ranked 20th. The problem is that this was really their first tournament appearance as a duo. Take a moment to process it. They advanced to the semifinals of a WTA 500 tournament, despite it being their first time working together and figuring out court coverage, who takes the middle ball, and who handles what circumstance. Chemistry takes time in doubles. You must be aware of who is managing the LO, when to swap sides, and when your partner is poaching at the net. See. These two made a deep run despite figuring it out on the spot. Could we have a moment to discuss this nickname? The Sea Royals. The Proyal folks in the Middle East came up with this, and to be honest, it's ideal, just like in Southeast Asia. On the international tennis scene, two up-and-coming talents from Indonesia and the Philippines are representing Southeast Asia. That is the main goal of our collaboration. For the area, this is enormous. In addition, Philippine tennis has been waiting for a player who can compete on the WTA circuit week after week like Eala, and matching up with Tjen, who has years of experience touring. That's the unity of Southeast Asia, and they succeeded. They weren't only there to seem, they were making noise, contending, and winning. This is what Eala has been coping with. She started traveling in early January, reached the semifinals of the Auckland ASB Classic, defeated top players in the Kooyong Classic event, participated in the main draw of the Australian Open, returned home to compete in the Philippine Women's Open before her own audience, then took a plane to Abu Dhabi to do this. The girl has been living on tennis courts and airplanes. She also played singles and doubles in Abu Dhabi alone, reached the singles quarterfinals after pushing Alexandrova, the world's number 11 player, to the limit after a strong run in Australia, then went back and faced Tjen in the double semifinals. For the double semifinal run alone, that equates to 3 games in 48 hours. And we're not talking about practice sets here. We're talking about intense WTA 500 contests. I don't care how young you are. I only care about your physique. No matter how fit you are, it will eventually catch up with you. Time spent recovering is important. New legs are important. Additionally, they just lacked such luxury. However, this is what everyone must comprehend. It was a huge run for them both. Eala just achieved a career-high singles ranking of number 45. That is a knock on the top 30's door. Tjen is at position 47. Both of them are growing. Both of them are gaining significant traction. Additionally, this doubles combination was a complete success. At a WTA 500 tournament, where elite doubles teams compete, they defeated a second-seeded duo with 23 championships between them. It's not a coincidence. That is really elite tennis. That includes knowing how to position yourself on the court, predicting your opponent's shots, and acting when necessary. Additionally, it demonstrates their seriousness about becoming complete players because they are considering doubles while attempting to get to the top of the singles rankings. Because playing doubles really improves your singles skills. Improved reflexes on the internet, improved court awareness, sharper volleys, and greater anticipation. When playing doubles, you have a different perspective on the ball. In order to cover angles, you learn to understand body language. Ashbarty and other players utilize doubles to keep sharp. It's about progress rather than simply ranking points. For the Qatar Total Energies Open, which begins on February 8th, Eala is traveling to Doha. In other words, no rest. She is immediately moving on to the next WTA 500, because that's what you do when you want to advance to the next level and solidify your status. The WTA relies upon momentum. You ride a roll, begin stacking victories, and then all of a sudden, you're sitting. Top players in the early stages are being avoided. You will get direct access to more prestigious competitions. That's the game within the game. So, will the Seers ever work together again? Because I really am here for it. There was chemistry. The results were in. They were cheering one another in between points and talking well over the net. And consider what they might accomplish if they played more games together and spent more time getting to know one another's shooting preferences and movement routines. They may pose a serious threat to sitting teams if they play in future events together and develop a rapport. Look, you may feel let down by the defeat. I completely understand. When you're that close to a final, nobody wants to lose in the semifinals. But take a moment to zoom out. In their first tournament together, 2 young Southeast Asian players advanced to the WTA 500 semifinals. The WTA 500 is the second-tier WTA event level, just below the Grand Slams and WTA Thousands. Defeated the second seeds, who had been playing together for a long time, battled fatigue and unrealistic schedules while going head-to-head with seasoned top 30 doubles veterans. That is a statement rather than a failure. Southeast Asia is here, as Eala and Tjen recently demonstrated to the tennis world. Carrying the flag is no longer limited to a single player. Players from this area are competitive and capable of winning matches at the greatest level. They're not just appearing. They are up against the world's top doubles teams. Scalps are being taken by them. In particular, they are creating semifinals for Philippine tennis. This is very enormous. Eala isn't only having fun, she is doing well. She is demonstrating that Filipinos are capable of competing against the world's top players on the WTA circuit week after week. They're just getting started. In Abu Dhabi, the Sea Star's incredible journey was cut short. But what do you know? Instead of feeling like an end, this seems like a beginning. Today, Almahilova and Nichols performed better. The experience was theirs. The remainder was theirs. Having played hundreds of doubles matches together, they had the court savvy that comes with it. And when it mattered, they took the necessary action. However, Eala and Tjen shown that they are capable of hanging with the best. They demonstrated their ability to change strategies in the middle of a game. They shown their ability to defeat more seasoned, higher-seeded clubs in crucial games. They demonstrated their ability to withstand the strain of a WTA 500 semifinal. Thus, although losing hurts, you learn from it and get ranking points when you're creating something, which is precisely what these two guys are doing. Semifinals are important points, and you keep going. Eala's next destination is Qatar, where she hopes to maintain her career-high position. And ideally, the Seers will reunite at some point in the future. Because of what we saw in Abu Dhabi,